AITAH for calling my lifelong friend's fiancée Cruella de Vil. My lifelong friend Mike has a 44-year-old special needs son, Lane. His wife, Anna, passed away almost 3 years ago. He recently became engaged to a woman, Misty. My wife promised Anna that she'd help look after Lane when Anna was dying, and my wife has. She takes him to doctor's appointments and keeps him with her on days that his day program is closed. We've kept him many times for days or up to a week while his dad was out of town for work. He's special needs, but probably about like having a very well-behaved 7-year-old around. He's fine to go to a restaurant or the movies or shopping. He's polite. He's able to bathe and dress himself. Lane started acting out as soon as Misty was in the picture. He repeatedly told my wife that Misty talked to him, meaning told him, "There's nothing wrong with you. You are just a lazy brat and a burden to Mike." My wife believed Lane because he's never made up stories before, and if he had made it, she was 100% sure he would have said Dad, not Mike. My wife talked to Mike about it, but he didn't believe Misty would do that. Misty denied it and suggested that Lane was lying because he didn't like her taking his mom's place. Eventually, Lane's younger brother secretly recorded Misty and Lane, and First Day recorded her saying exactly what Lane said she said. Mike and Misty came to our house a couple of days after Lane's brother recorded her. Mike asked my wife if she could spend some time with Misty and Lane and help Misty learn how to interact with Lane so she isn't so overwhelmed. I said, "You gotta be fucking kidding me. You can't seriously think it's okay to leave Lane with Cruella de Vil after what she's done. It wasn't an accident. She was verbally abusing your son. Anna is probably rolling over in her grave." Mike thinks AITAH for calling Misty Cruella de Vil instead of understanding that she was frustrated and overwhelmed and needs help, not judgment. AITA for not inviting my mom to my wedding because she hates my fiancé for being short. I 35F am engaged to my wonderful fiancé, Mark 38M. He's an incredible guy, smart, funny, and treats me with so much love and respect. The only problem is that he's 5 feet 4 inches. I love his height because that's a part of him, but my mom, 60F, never lets me forget this. From the moment I started dating Mark, she's made it clear that she disapproves of him because of his height. At first, I brushed it off, but her comments have only gotten worse over time. She regularly tells me I could do better and that I deserve someone taller and more masculine. During one family gathering, she even asked me, "How do you feel about being the one who wears the pants in the relationship?" I was furious and embarrassed. We ended up fighting over it, and we didn't talk for a week. When Mark proposed, I hoped my mom would be excited and maybe even come around. I invited her over to celebrate, but instead of being happy for me, she spent the entire dinner making fun of Mark. She said things like, "Just make sure to buy a step stool for your wedding day." It was beyond embarrassing, and I could see Mark getting sad and frustrated. She really ruined this wonderful day for him. After that dinner, I knew I had to make a difficult decision. I want my wedding to be filled with love and joy, not my mom's negativity, and I don't want Mark to feel bad about himself on this day. So I decided not to invite her. Now she's livid and claims I'm being unreasonable. She says I'm cutting off family over a few height jokes and that I'll regret not having my family at my wedding. Mark is happy with my choice too. So was I too harsh on my mom? AITA for not buying a ticket to Paris for my husband to make him feel how I felt? Hi everyone. I 29F am American and married to my husband 30M, who is from an Arab country. We've been together for a while, have a child, and overall, we're a successful couple. I work as a nurse, and he's a software engineer. Our relationship has always been great. He's everything I've wanted in a partner, both mentally and physically. Last month, we traveled to his home country to visit his family. I was excited to meet them, but I noticed that my husband started acting differently around me when we were with his family. For example, when we sat with his sisters and cousins, they were affectionate with each other, hugging, laughing, and exchanging their traditional cheek kisses. However, whenever I tried to greet him the same way, he would pull back or subtly avoid me. One particularly awkward moment happened when he came home one evening. I leaned in to greet him with the same cheek kisses I'd seen everyone else use, but he refused right in front of his sisters, who were watching. I felt so embarrassed. When I asked him about it later, he told me that in his culture, It's considered rude and disrespectful for a husband and wife to show affection in front of family. He assured me that it wasn't personal, that he loves me, but said, "This isn't America, and we need to follow local customs." Another incident upset me even more. We went out with his family, and I sat in the front passenger seat next to him. Just before we left, he asked me to move to the back so his mother could sit in the front. I understand that respecting parents is a big part of his culture, but being asked to switch seats like that made me feel sidelined, like I wasn't as important in the moment. What made things even harder was the dynamic between his family and him. His mom and sister were very affectionate towards my husband and our child, hugging them, kissing them, and doting on them. At one point, his mom kissed both my husband and our child and said in English, "These are my treasures. These are my life," right in front of me. It made me feel uneasy, almost like I was being sent a message. I'm not sure if I was overreacting or if it was just jealousy creeping in, but it left me with a toxic feeling that I couldn't shake. When we got back to the US, I was still holding on to those emotions. To make him understand how I felt during the trip, I decided to buy tickets to a big event in Paris for me, our child, and both my parents. But I didn't get a ticket for him. I thought that maybe experiencing a bit of exclusion would help him understand how I felt. AITA for doing this? I wanted him to see what it feels like to be left out, but now I'm wondering if I went too far. Should I have just talked to him more instead of trying to make a point this way? Or is it fair that I wanted him to understand how it feels to be on the outside? AITAH for turning down my husband. I'm 11 weeks postpartum and on maternity leave. Husband is back to work, so the 3 to 5 wake-ups in the night I'm doing by myself. As you can imagine, I'm tired. Being postpartum, I have very low sex drive right now. My husband has been patient with me. We've only had sex 1 or 2 times since having the baby. This morning I had just starting waking up, and the first thing he said to me before I could even open my eyes was, "Can we get a quick one in?" No good morning. How'd the baby do last night? How are you, etc. I got pissed and turned him down. I was short and snippy because, well, I'm tired and I look after another human life all day. It'd be nice if he at least acted like he cared about me. So now he's just ignoring me and being cold. So, AITAH, or is he just being sensitive? AITA for refusing to attend my sister's wedding. Because she wants to repurpose my wedding dress? I-28F got married last year in a small but beautiful ceremony. My husband and I spent months planning every detail, and the highlight for me was my wedding dress. I saved up for years to buy this dress. It was my dream dress. It's this beautiful lace, A-line gown with intricate beadwork and a long train. I felt like a princess and still get emotional just thinking about it. Fast forward to now, my sister 26F is engaged, and her wedding is coming up in 6 months. She recently came over to our place to chat about wedding plans. At one point, she casually mentioned that she'd love to borrow my dress. She thinks it would be cute to repurpose it, maybe by shortening the skirt or even dyeing it a different color so it's unique to her. I was taken aback. I told her I wasn't comfortable with her altering my dress, especially since it has a lot of sentimental value to me. She got upset and said I was being selfish because she wanted to save money on her wedding, and families should support each other. When I stood my ground, she accused me of not caring about her big day and stormed out. My parents later called me and said I was breaking her heart by refusing to share. They said that since I'm married and done with the dress, it shouldn't be a big deal. But it is a big deal to me. I want to keep my dress as it is. They suggested I just let her have her way to avoid family drama, but honestly, I feel like it's my dress and my decision. Now my sister says she won't feel comfortable with me at her wedding unless I show my support by letting her use the dress. I don't want to miss her wedding, but I also don't want to give in to something I'm not comfortable with. Ada for refusing to let her repurpose my wedding dress and considering not attending the wedding.